we should do whatever we can to stop people getting COVID, right? Including getting toxins and poisons out of their food. Oh no, some of them toxins and poisons are a bit profitable. I'll leave them in then. Hello there, you 5.3 million awakening wonders. Together we voyage onwards, trying to understand better together what truth is, what systems are reliable, what sources of information we can take seriously, and how to think critically for ourselves and communicate, not just as spiritually awakening individuals, but as a community, a growing community, establishing our own set of values. That's what I was doing this morning. What you been up to? Hey, you know I'm on tour. If you want to come and see me on tour, you can. There's a link in the description. I'm appearing in places like Carlisle, Stockton-on-Tees, Bristol, Blackpool, big events. I do loads of meditation and stuff. If you want to stay connected to me, and God knows you might have to one day, you also should sign up to my mailing list. I'll put a link up for that at the end. I'll tell you all the stuff I'm doing. It's fantastic. Anyway, let's get on with the old subject of poison and toxins in your food, right? Because you eat food, do you? Yeah, I eat food as well. Do you want poisons and toxins in there? Oh, I'm not bothered. I'll eat it. No, you don't want poisons and toxins in your food, do you? Particularly when it's been demonstrated that these toxins and poisons exacerbate the conditions that make COVID worse. And of course, the last couple of years, we've been doing anything in our power, no matter how serious, no matter what the consequences, to prevent people, each other, everyone else, getting COVID. So we'll start looking at all varying intersecting vectors: health, what we eat, exercise. Right, let's have a little look at this story, shall we? While so many Americans have taken precautions to keep themselves and those around them safe from COVID-19 and prevent severe illness if they do get sick with the virus, there are plenty of other factors in Americans' daily lives that are beyond their control that may actually worsen the effects of the novel coronavirus and especially result in the vulnerable population being more susceptible to the virus. Now, already we're asking an important question. What we were told, what there were galas and pageants and celebration and glee around, was we're all helping one another. We're doing stuff that's necessary. Sure, it's tough, but it's sure as bloomin' hell worth it, governor. That was the attitude, wasn't it? And now I'm beginning to think that certain measures, certain priorities were considered important, whereas others simply weren't considered. What establishes the line between those two camps? What measures should you take? What measures shouldn't you take? Is there an agenda? Now, asking that question, don't make me a wacky conspiracy theorist. It don't mean I've got an opinion on the vaccine. What I'm interested in is the stories that we are told and how reality is formed by those stories. That there is no serious objective reality that the culture is forming around, just an agenda being pursued. And the narrative changes. You can watch it all the time, real and live, over everything from the Oscars to Ukraine. You can see how the narrative bends. You can't do invasions. What, under any circumstances? Oh, you can't slap someone around the face. What, under any circumstances? Oh. So, let's try and establish some things that are real and reliable and true, because no one else is going to do it for you. That's clear. We have to do it together. Despite their best efforts to get vaccinated and boosted and ensure they are masked up and socially distanced from others. Okay, so that's quite a list, isn't it? Vaccinated? Okay. Boosted? All right then. Don't go anywhere? Fine. Put a mask on? Okay then. So that's everything, yeah? That's all of the things we can do. Yeah, that's all of them. There's no other factors? Can't think of any. Chemicals commonly found in consumer products have been proven to harm human health, yet they still remain legal. Right. So is there a reason that chemicals proven to harm human health are in your dinner? Something you know you're going to put in your mouth. Endocrine disrupting chemicals, EDCs, which negatively affect human hormones, can exacerbate COVID-19 in particularly vulnerable individuals. Yet these EDCs can be hard to avoid for any American consumer. How can we approach life in good faith? How can we approach the media in good faith? How can we approach governance in good faith when we've been told again and again, got to protect the vulnerable, don't matter about you, you're not getting the vaccine for you, getting it for the vulnerable. Cool. So we're doing everything we can for the vulnerable. Yeah, that's right. Get vaccinated, get boosted, put a mask on, stay at home. Cool for the vulnerable, right? We're doing everything. Yeah, I've told you, vaccinate must. Right. There's stuff in food that's making people ill. That stuff is quite profitable. Okay. So it's what's profitable that's important or vulnerable? Profitable or vulnerable? Which one was it? It's profitable vulnerability. We're interested in profitable vulnerability. Vulnerability that's not so profitable we don't care about. Now we're getting somewhere. PFAS, which are frequently found in food packaging and mass manufactured goods like cosmetics, are an EDC. According to a June 2020 article in The Intercept, studies have shown that in both adults and children, higher levels of certain PFAS chemicals were associated with weaker responses to vaccines. Have a vaccine. Right, I've done it. But it's still not working. Have a booster. It's still not working. Should I stop eating my chemicals? No, eat your bloody chemicals. Those are profitable chemicals. With the proliferation of PFAS use in so many aspects of Americans' daily lives, the responsibility for substantial change lies most heavily with the government, which has the power to make legislative changes to curb companies' reliance on PFAS. As it stands, Americans live in a nation where it's very difficult to avoid PFAS exposure and its harms. A 2021 study shows that chemicals known as phthalates, a chemical class similar to PFAS, which have been linked to health problems, have been detected in food from popular chains McDonald's, Burger King, Pizza Hut, Domino's, Taco Bell and Chipotle. Diminish the old options for a takeaway? Researchers obtained 64 food samples of hamburgers, fries, chicken nugget, chicken burritos and cheese pizzas from the chains. They found that over 80% of the foods contained chemicals that have been linked to reproductive health problems. Now let's get into some conspiracy theories. Phthalates are added to plastics to make them softer. Here, can I ask you, if you want to get rid of these phthalates in your food, just how are we to make our plastics soft? How important is it that the plastics are soft? Very. Added to plastics to make them softer, and they can transfer from plastics used for food handling. It's poisoning people. How soft do you want your plastic? Nice and soft. USA Today reached out to the 6 restaurants cited in the research for comment. Larry Lynch, a senior vice president at the National Restaurant Association, accused the study of being a bought and paid for tool of special interest groups looking to incite fear and make headlines. Those special interest groups that are looking to incite fear and make headlines, who are they? Who wants to do that? Now then, let's incite some fear and make some headlines. That's not a business. I'll tell you what is a business. Fast food, where you can't be bothered to regulate it properly and get the chemicals out of the box, out of the actual food you've been flogging people. This is a conspiracy. You're trying to ruin Larry Lynch. Well, Larry Lynch, don't stand by and let that shit happen. You goddamn conspiracy theorist. That's wrong. Eat your goddamn plastics. Oh dear. I've had a downstairs disaster. But did you enjoy the nugget? Is the nugget my penis? That's right, baby. Looking to incite fear and make headlines and emphasise the levels cited in the study are within EPA guidelines. It's always the case, isn't it? But what are these guidelines? They're just guidelines to allow us to do what we want with the pretense that this thing's being regulated. Our operators and owners work closely with their suppliers to ensure they have packaging and supplies that meet all FDA guidelines and best practices while providing customers a safe, high-quality experience, Lynch said. Our whole lives we've been told that fast food is bad for you. I thought that they'd reached some natural peak, but they found a way of making it even worse. How can we make this food even worse for people? I know. Let's put it in a box that means you can't have kids. Oh, fantastic. High quality experience. Low quality erection. The research notes that the substances being detected in common fast food items is especially concerning for, get ready, low-income individuals. That's the poor. The Food and Drug Administration, in a statement to the Washington Post, said that it will review the study. Although the FDA has high safety standards, as new scientific information becomes available, we reevaluate our safety assessments, said an FDA spokesperson. Is it that you reevaluate them when the people that fund you have had time to make more profit from their plastic-filled, filthy foods? Yeah, that's another way of saying it. Last year, the food and beverage industry donated over, wait for it, $28 million to 78 government clients, lobbied through 389 lobbyists, 66% of which were former government employees. So no room for corruption or complication there. And if you say there's a connection between the $28 million, the 78 government clients, lobbied through 389 lobbyists, 66% of whom were former government employees, you're a conspiracy theorist. Hey, wait, I've just noticed they're giving money to the people and then the regulations mean that they can make more profit over time. I'm going crazy. I think I'm getting too into these conspiracy theories. I better relax and have a Domino's. This is from Jason Luliano, who writes at that hub of conspiracy theories, Cambridge University. For more than a century, the Food and Drug Administration has claimed to protect the public health. During that time, it's actually been placing corporate profits above consumer safety. What? Nowhere is this corruption more evident than in the approval of artificial sweeteners. FDA leaders close ties to the very industry they were supposed to be regulating present a startling picture, ignoring warnings from both independent scientists and their own review panels. Well, we actually work for you. FDA decision makers let greed guide their action. We've got some independent scientists. We've got the panel that you employed. What about greed? They approved carcinogenic sweeteners. Oh, carcinogenic just causes a bit of cancer. How sweet is this stuff? Very sweet. Saccharin, aspartame, and sucralose, while simultaneously banning the natural herb stevia because it would cut into industry profits. This just in! We found this stuff. Stevia is as good as saccharin and aspartame and sucralose, but it doesn't cause cancer. It's a miracle. It's a miracle. Would it cut into profits? Yeah, I suppose so, because it's natural. It takes time. Vetoed! Well, there you are then. Another challenge to the previous narrative around coronavirus and the measures taken to prevent it spreading. Was it all about protecting the vulnerable? If so, and I'm not saying that it wasn't, why are these kind of measures not similarly taken? Could it be because those industries are incredibly profitable? Could it be because of all those Congress folk receiving money from lobbyists? I don't know. It would make me a conspiracy theorist to draw a connection between those neatly interlocking ideas. And I simply don't have the time for that. I'm too busy polishing my tin hat. And that is not a euphemism. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this, what you think about the FDA, what you think about the kind of food you're being served and invited to eat and feed your children, what you think about carcinogenic sweeteners being approved ahead of natural alternatives. If you enjoyed this video, have a look at this one or this one. They're both equally good in my view. And sign up to my mailing list. I need to be able to continue to talk to you directly. You never know what could happen. Please come and see me on tour if you've got the time. There's a link in the description today. Most importantly of all those, stay free.